Life often makes us believe that if we try harder, push more forcefully, and worry long enough, everything will eventually happen the way we want. We grow accustomed to chasing goals through tension and pressure. Yet according to Buddhist wisdom, what truly shapes your experience is not desperation, but the energy you radiate each day. Every thought you think and every emotion you nurture creates an inner frequency. When you live in a state of anxiety, fear, or lack, you are sending out the message that you are not enough, that life is working against you. That very energy makes everything feel even more distant. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you are aligning yourself with the feeling of scarcity. On the other hand, when you choose peace amid imperfect circumstances, you emit a completely different source of energy. Peace does not mean indifference or abandoning your dreams. It is a deep trust that what is meant for you will arrive at the right time. When you trust instead of panic, you begin to act with clarity rather than react in fear. And from that state, opportunities start to appear. Try observing the moments when you feel most desperate. When you want something too intensely, a relationship, a job, a specific outcome, you often feel exhausted and powerless. You check constantly, think constantly, analyze every possible scenario. Yet the more you try to control, the more you lose the lightness that allows things to unfold naturally. Buddhism teaches that everything in the universe operates according to the law of causes and conditions. When the causes are sufficient and the conditions are complete, the result will come. Desperation does not ripen the causes any faster. It only unsettles and drains your mind. Instead of forcing the outcome, you can focus on cultivating a positive inner state, gratitude, patience, and faith. When you live with a mindset of abundance, even if the present is not yet perfect, you begin to attract what aligns with that state. Others can sense your confidence and calmness. Opportunities come because you are ready to receive rather than to demand. And even if results do not arrive immediately, you still maintain inner stability. The miracle lies in this. When you stop chasing through worry, you actually move closer to what you desire. Because the universe does not respond to the cries of desperation. It responds to the vibration of trust. So instead of asking, "Why hasn't it arrived yet?" ask yourself, "What energy am I emitting?" When you change within, the outer world will gradually reflect that change. Keep your mind peaceful, nurture your faith, and allow everything to come in its most natural way. Human beings often believe that control is the key to safety. We want to manage every detail, the timing of success, how others behave, the course of a relationship, or the outcome of a plan. We assume that if we are strict enough, calculating enough, and hardworking enough, everything will unfold according to our wishes. Yet reality often shows the opposite. The tighter we grip, the heavier life becomes. According to the spirit of Buddhist teachings, attachment is the very root of suffering. When you try to control everything, you are sending out the message that you do not trust the natural process of life. Control arises from fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear that something unwanted will happen. And that very fear creates constant tension in the mind. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you hold it gently, the sand remains. But if you clench your fist tightly out of fear of losing it, the sand will slip through your fingers even faster. Life is the same. When you try to keep someone by your side through control, they feel suffocated. When you try to force success to arrive at the exact moment you desire, you only increase pressure and anxiety. Excessive control also causes you to lose your ability to adapt. Life is always changing, and not every factor is within your reach. When you focus too much on manipulating the outcome, you forget to live fully in the present moment. You no longer enjoy the journey. Instead, you become obsessed with the destination. Letting go of control does not mean abandoning responsibility. On the contrary, it is an act of maturity. You still do your best, still make efforts, still create plans. But you accept that the final result depends on many other factors as well. You act with awareness, yet you do not cling to a single script. When you stop trying to control, a sense of relief appears. The mind becomes more open and flexible. You begin to realize that many beautiful opportunities come from the unexpected. If you are too rigid about one path, you may miss other routes that are even more aligned with you. The flow of life is always moving. When you try to go against it, you become exhausted. When you move with it, you are supported. Letting go of control is a way of returning to trust, trusting that everything is unfolding in the way necessary for your growth. The more you try to control, the more resistance you create. The more you know how to release, the more space you open for good things to arise naturally. Sometimes, strength does not lie in tightening your grip, but in knowing when to loosen it. We are living in a world filled with noise. Noise from phones, social media, work, endless conversations, and even the chaotic stream of thoughts in our own minds. It seems that there is always something demanding your attention. You react constantly, respond constantly, think constantly. Yet amid all that noise, there is a power many people forget: silence. According to Buddhist wisdom, silence is not merely the absence of speech. Silence is a state in which the mind is not disturbed. It is the space where wisdom arises. When your mind becomes still, you begin to see things more clearly. Like the surface of a lake, when the water is calm, you can see the bottom. But when the surface is stirred by the wind, everything turns murky. Most of our worries do not come from circumstances themselves, but from the continuous stream of thoughts in our heads. When you react immediately to everything, you allow external noise to control your inner state. But when you choose silence, you create a pause. And that very pause prevents you from being swept away by negative emotions. Silence is also a sign of inner strength. In an argument, the person who feels the strongest need to speak is often the least secure. The truly grounded person can choose not to react. They do not need to prove anything. They understand that not every word requires a reply, and not every situation. There are things you want right now, but perhaps you are not truly ready to receive them. Sometimes delay is not rejection, but preparation. The universe is arranging the necessary pieces so that when it arrives, you are able to sustain it for the long term. Look at nature. A great tree does not mature overnight. It needs time to grow deep roots before it can rise tall. If you focus only on the visible top and ignore the development beneath the surface, you will not understand the value of waiting. The quiet phases in your life are like that rooting stage, silent yet essential. When you do not trust timing, you easily fall into comparison. You see others achieving something and blame yourself for being left behind. But each person has a unique journey. The right time for someone else may not be the right time for you. Comparison only robs you of peace in the present moment. Trusting timing brings a deep sense of relief. You no longer feel pressured by the clock or by society's expectations. You live more fully in each step. When opportunities come, you receive them with readiness rather than panic. When they have not yet arrived, you continue improving yourself instead of becoming discouraged. Patience is not weakness. It is a form of strength. Only those with faith are calm enough to wait. When you trust that everything is unfolding in the right way, you stop trying to force life to follow your will. You understand that there is a greater rhythm at work, and you are part of that rhythm. The art of trusting timing teaches you to slow down, breathe more deeply, and release the pressure to achieve everything immediately. What is meant for you will come, not too early, not too late, but exactly when you have matured enough to receive it. And when that moment arrives, you will realize that all the waiting had its meaning. In life, many people say that they want success, happiness, and to be loved. But deep inside, not everyone truly believes that they deserve those things. And it is that silent belief that ultimately determines what you experience. According to the spirit of Buddhist teachings, the outer world reflects the inner state. What you believe about yourself quietly shapes your actions, choices, and the way you respond to opportunities. If you believe you are not good enough, you will hesitate when opportunities arise. If you believe you are not worthy of love, you may accept relationships that hurt you. Your inner beliefs become the invisible limits of your life. You do not attract what you say you want. You attract what you truly believe you deserve. If deep inside you keep telling yourself that success is for others, that you are only average, you will unconsciously act in ways that keep yourself at that level. You may miss opportunities, doubt yourself, or stop just before reaching something greater. On the other hand, when you begin to believe that you deserve peace, love, and success, a powerful shift takes place. You walk with greater confidence. You set healthier boundaries. You dare to try, to learn, and to accept challenges. Not because you are certain everything will be perfect, but because you believe you have value. This is not arrogance. Believing you are worthy does not mean demanding that life favor you. It simply means recognizing that you are also a part of this world, and you have the right to experience good things just like anyone else. When you acknowledge your intrinsic worth, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself excessively. You act from a place of fullness rather than from a place of lack. Your belief about your own value also influences how you face failure. If you believe you deserve success, one setback will not destroy you. You see it as a lesson rather than as proof that you are inadequate. This attitude allows you to keep moving forward instead of limiting yourself. The world does not distinguish between your positive or negative beliefs. It simply reflects the energy you project. If you carry a sense of unworthiness within you, you will unconsciously create circumstances that reinforce that feeling. But when you cultivate the belief that you have value, you begin to attract people and opportunities that reflect that respect. Observe how you speak to yourself. Do you often criticize, compare, and belittle yourself? Or do you encourage, acknowledge, and appreciate your efforts? Every change begins here. When you truly believe you deserve good things, you no longer chase them in anxiety. You move forward steadily, and life gradually opens doors that match that belief. In modern life, people often believe that in order to achieve what they desire, they must constantly strive, run faster, and do more. We are taught that success only comes when we push ourselves to exhaustion, and that if we slow down, we will be left behind. Yet there is a deeper truth that not everyone realizes. Inner peace itself is one of the most powerful forms of manifestation. Peace does not mean being passive or giving up on your dreams. Peace is a stable inner state even when external circumstances are not yet perfect. When you are at peace, you no longer act out of fear or scarcity. You are not swept away by urgency or pressure to prove something. Instead, you act from clarity and trust. When the mind is tense, you tend to make decisions based on anxiety. You may overreact to small difficulties or feel as if everything is working against you. Anxious energy makes you like someone swimming against a strong current. The more you struggle against it, the more exhausted you become. But when you maintain peace, you begin to move with the natural flow of life. You do not stop taking action, but your actions become gentler and more purposeful. Peace allows you to see situations clearly. When the mind is undisturbed, you can recognize opportunities hidden behind challenges. You understand that not every delay is a failure. Some things need time to mature, just as a seed needs care before it can bloom. If you dig it up every day to check whether it has sprouted, you will unintentionally ruin its growth process. Many people think that in order to attract what they want, they must constantly focus on it and worry about it. But obsession often creates pressure. Pressure takes away your flexibility and your joy along the journey. In contrast, when you maintain peace, you send a powerful message that you trust the process. That trust creates an open space where opportunities and solutions can arise naturally. Peace also helps you separate your self-worth from outcomes. You no longer believe that you are only good enough if you succeed. You understand that your value does not depend on achieving something. That quiet confidence makes you more attractive in the eyes of others. When you release the need for control, you free yourself from the pressure of having to know all the answers. You accept that some things are beyond your reach. This acceptance does not weaken you. On the contrary, it brings inner strength. You no longer react in panic but act with trust. You understand that what belongs to you will arrive at the right time. Letting go also opens the door to the unexpected. Sometimes the best things do not come from the plans you carefully designed, but from directions you never imagined. When you are not rigidly attached to a single outcome, you allow life to present new opportunities. Miracles often appear when you stop trying to control every detail. When you relax your mind, you begin to realize that you do not have to fight against life. You can trust the journey even when you cannot see the entire picture. In the space of letting go, joy and peace gradually return. Ultimately, letting go is a conscious choice. It is the decision to live with faith instead of fear. When you release your grip, you do not lose what is truly meant for you. On the contrary, you create room for what is more aligned to enter your life.